Opry Next Stage artist Madeline Edwards, sounding as triumphant as always. Hello.
Well, hello.
Hello. And you have brought an awesome friend with you today. I'm so excited to meet you. Hello, Logan Garrett.
Hello.
Hi. Well, I teased it when we opened the 4 o'clock hour here, but I am very excited to learn about a subgenre of country music today that has really sort of taken the genre, the industry by storm, and that is country house music. Mm-hmm. And I was telling our friend David, who's in here with us as well, that just today, Priscilla Block is putting out a song with Diplo, who's an EDM house artist, that Ella Langley helped write. And if you get where I'm going here, that's now 3, including you, Madeline Edwards, Opry Next Stage artists, who are finding themselves involved in country house music. So, Logan, I want you to tell us what house music is, what country house music is, and how you found yourself incorporated in it and making it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, house music itself, it's a subgenre of EDM, or like electronic music. And house music is probably the most popular subgenre. It's the most parallel with like modern pop music. It very consistently has a lot of like bass, kick drums, and we've seen this genre grow and submerge, especially here in Nashville. And I mean, it's going global with things that you've said, with where country artists are coming in and doing vocals. And there is some like influence of country production on house music. And that's, all of those things happening lined up to me reaching out to Madeline and creating this record that we're here talking about.
Yes, the song is called Take Me Down, and we're going to play it all over the world on WSM in just a few minutes. But Madeline, I want to know where your interest in this type of music came from, because you know no bounds yourself. I would call you genreless. Of course, you have beautiful elements of country music in you and in your music, but you're not afraid of anything, I don't think, but also not to try new things. Yeah. So talk about your entry into this subgenre.
Well, it's funny that you should say that, because I wrote a little bit of house dance music in Houston before I even moved to Nashville. And so I had dipped my toe in that a little bit. And when Logan asked me to be a part of the project, I was like, man, I would love to infuse what I've already done here in the Nashville scene. And, I think people are quick to basically pick it out and point it out and be like, that's not country, that's not dance, whatever. And then, we have Morgan Wallen, who has set the stage even with putting trap beats on top of country music. And so you're seeing that blend already happening so naturally that I think it's really hard to say what is and what isn't country right now. And so that's really cool. I actually did not know about Priscilla Block. And so Diplo has been, dipping his toe into this genre for a minute. And I know, one of my favorite tracks is one that he did with Lily Rose. And so you're just the whole world is tuning into country music right now. And I'm just excited that this is another avenue that people are just going to get more excited about it. So
Logan, tell us about your experience in the scene here in Nashville. You have a couple of residencies playing music, Opry star Dierks Bentley, Whiskey Row. I know it's one of the places that you'll...
Was there last night.
Oh, wow. So you had a late night and you're still going today, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
So especially as Nashville, we're seeing, I guess it's always been this way to an extent, but there's such a community of young people and people experimenting with music of all kinds in Nashville now. I mean, there's definitely a growing pop scene. There's somewhat of a hip hop scene. I think it's growing slowly but surely. Yeah. So your experience being a producer and an EDM artist in Nashville, what have you learned working in this city, and how has Nashville influenced your music?
I think that the biggest Nashville influence there came from being in those spaces that are so centered around country, but wanting to deliver a energy and a musical experience that's more parallel to what's popular in the nightclubs across Europe.
Well, before we dive into Take Me Down, I would love for each of you to tell me something you learned from working with the other. So Madeline, something you learned from working with Logan, and Logan, what have you learned getting to know and working with Miss Madeline?
That's a great question. Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
I feel like Nashville is such an incredible breeding ground for collaborators. And you see so many of these incredible LA producers and writers directly talk about Nashville and how collaborative the space is. And it could be inexperienced writers to some of the greatest writers of our time all coming into a room together. And I feel like I learned in such an incredible way how to just expand what I'm already good at in terms of writing a story or incorporating a story into a country song and trying to figure out how to do that in a completely different space with house music. And I didn't really have any experience in that when I was writing house before, and being able to, take any type of a storyline with, Don't Take Me Down. And we were talking even just like including biblical references, like throwing pearls before swine and including that into the storyboarding of this project. I feel like it was really cool getting to work with you and just combine those two very seamlessly, I think.
Yeah, and I guess my answer is a little bit parallel, but it taught me a lot about myself creatively when I go into something artistically, I'm so dead set on like what it needs to be and what I want it to be that I've even like forced other creatives to like pull away from what they do to get there. And with you is so much about like getting together and meeting in the middle and like pulling from your art and making sure that like it sounded like a Madeline Edwards record as well, which really has opened up like my eyes and my horizon to like looking into, when I'm working with artists, like really pulling in their influence as opposed to just mine. So
Logan's a great collaborator. He let me like totally dive in. It was really
heck
sweet.
yeah.
We wrote the song together. Really.
yeah, she's very detailed.
Yes.
That's a very nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
Well, clearly it's a masterpiece with two of your brilliant minds together. So right now, I believe this is the first EDM house-influenced song to be played on WSM, and we're going to do it right now.
Wow.
It's Take Me Down, Logan Garrett, featuring Opry Next Stage artist Madeline Edwards. It's WSM. We'll be back.
Hope I can't seem to find it alone.
Logan Garrett with Opry Next Stage artist Madeline Edwards. That was Take Me Down all over the world on WSM. And what an awesome song that is. Triumphant is my favorite word to describe your musicality and your vocals. And man, did you prove it again with Take Me Down.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, Logan, tell us what we can get excited for on your horizon coming up really soon.
Well, relating to this and Madeline, we're definitely going to do a pop-up during CMA Fest where I think we're going to bring her into a club and perform the song maybe. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, please stay tuned.
Yeah, so that should be pretty interesting. And then, still I'm playing downtown really actively. I'm making more music. I've got some other records in the vault I can't really talk about yet, but we're going to be doing more of this for sure.
Amazing. And Madeline Edwards, not only are you playing the Grand Ole Opry again this evening, you are headed out on the road with some unbelievable names. Please tell us who you're going to be on the road with coming up real soon.
So in a couple weeks, I'm going out with the War and Treaty, which are incredible.
Yes, they are.
And I'm also this fall going to be going out with Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan and Sheryl Crow. So, I mean, just the most insane thing in the world. It's the Outlaw Tour, and we're going to be doing up and down the East Coast. So
just absolutely incredible. You too. I'm so glad you came to see us today at WSM. Thanks for sharing your music with us, and we'll totally see you soon.
Thanks for playing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Yay! Good work. That was so